This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Making it big on the national stage. It's a couple of big hits from a couple of guys from Albuquerque, New Mexico, who seem like they're destined to square off in the American League Championship Series. What's up, and morning to you. Game day for the Aggies, Wednesday for the rest of you. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck in D.C. How you living?
What it do?
All right?
Yeah. All right.
So I watched Alex Bregman, Albuquerque Academy, Albuquerque, New Mexico, hit a home run. Astros win. They're up 2-1 in their division series against the Twins. Mitch Garver with a big double. I thought it was base clearing, but they held a guy at third base. 2 RBI double to kind of open it up early and set the tone. Rangers sweep the Orioles. Albuquerque, New Mexico, Mitch Garver. Just a couple of boys from the Burke having a freaking ball game yesterday.
Just doing their thing. And just like that, it can be over.
For the Orioles?
For the Orioles.
Yeah, they had not been swept all year. In fact, they had not been swept in a series since the middle of May in 2022. That would be like a season and a half ago, almost 2 full seasons ago, and the Tigers didn't. But look, they're going to be good. Their regular season number is they've not been swept in 91 straight series, which is the third longest streak in history. And when we're talking about the third longest, pretty much the longest in the modern era, because the other two were the 1942-44 Cardinals and the 1903-06 Giants, New York Giants. It doesn't mean anything right now because they just got swept by the Rangers. Rangers are the most streaky team in baseball. Rangers are red hot. Rangers have wanted the Astros. Rangers appear like they may get the Astros. Astros still have to win one more. Rangers can do it, man. Nathan Eovaldi was terrific yesterday. They hit all over the lineup. I told you you're going to learn a lot about postseason teams. You know, when you watch postseason baseball, you learn about different dudes. Maybe there's something. They have been just insanely impressive going undefeated so far in the postseason.
The Rangers were a week away from winning the division.
Yeah.
They're not a fluky wild card team. It's the only thing that I was really confident in was if you're looking at one of these teams to go on a run, it was the Texas Rangers. Because of the offense, they have, even without Max Scherzer in there, losing Jacob deGrom way early in the season, they put together a good rotation. Bruce Bochy has handled the bullpen well, and they got guys that have hit in the postseason.
It hit a lot. I mean, whether it's Seager or Garver or I mean, just figure it out. Just go up and down the lineup. They're really good, and so they've moved on. Astros do it again, and Yordan Alvarez hit a couple. Alex had one. They got pitching yesterday. They are 1 win away from moving on. They'll do it in Minnesota. They do it again today. What time are they going today? So it's here's what you get today. What's today? The 11th already? Holy smokes, today's the 11th. You get Atlanta, Philadelphia at 3:07 today. That series is tied. It's going back to Pennsylvania. Then you get the Astros and Twins at 5:07. So for the National League games on TBS, the Astros are on Fox Sports 1, and then Dodgers try to stay alive in Arizona tonight, and they'll go at 7:07 tonight. So you got some baseball, and it's been exciting, but it's just fun to watch a couple of guys from around here that you watched grow up. That you watch their careers blossom at the high school level, at the youth level. Some of you even, at the little league level, saw these guys come up, and it's just fun to watch them really, really make a difference on the big stage. All right, we got a lot to do today, DC. Here's our pre-show meeting today because there's we got a guest list for you today. If you're not going to be around for all of it, it'll be available for you wherever it is you get your podcasts on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. 8:30, Eddie Nunez is going to be with us, the athletic director at UNM. They announced their long-term strategic plan for athletics. And JJ, I know I looked at it yesterday when we were at the press conference, like, okay, but what is it? Like here's our core values, but what is it? I'm looking forward to talking to Eddie about, okay, strategic plan. What does that mean? Is that a facility upgrade? Is that, like, what is it, right? And so Eddie's going to talk to you a little bit about that. And he said basically it secures and puts Lobo athletics in the right place for the future moving forward in what obviously, and I mean, this isn't news to you, is a ever-changing collegiate athletic landscape. So Eddie's going to be with us at 8:30. 9:30 this morning, one of our favorite guys in the league, Brent Brennan, the San Jose State football coach, is going to join us. San Jose State comes in on Saturday, and JJ looked at their schedule, right? And we looked at this earlier, and this is a football team that went to a bowl game. That I think he's a terrific coach, and you got their nose in front of you. But when you look at their schedule, USC and Oregon State, and they played Toledo, who is 5-1 in the MAC. I told you, I think since the beginning, I think they're the best team in the MAC. Their only loss was to Illinois by 2, and they had them. It was the last second loss. Otherwise, they'd be undefeated. And then they lose on the road to Boise State. They lost to Air Force, who may be the best group of 5 team in America. Like, they're 1-5, and I know what their record says. And I hate it because it sounds like coach talk, but they're so much better than a 1-5 football team.
That's why they're an 8-point favorite on Saturday.
Yeah.
And that should tell you about San Jose State. People are going to look at that and go, well, that's how bad the Lobos are. If you're 8-point underdogs at home to a 1-5 team, then what is happening? They're a pretty darn good football team.
I mean, they lost to SC, and they played SC tight in the first half. And you know what USC is. They lost to Oregon State, who was at the time ranked 18th. I think they're higher than that now. Beat Cal Poly. Toledo, again, they lose on the road, 21-17 to a Toledo team who is 5-1, the best team of the MAC. Their one loss was at Illinois on a last second, and they had that thing put away, and they lost that game. They lose to Air Force on the road, 45-20. Air Force, who we'll find out, but maybe the best group of 5 team, period, in America. They lose at home to Air Force. And then they had Boise State down big on Saturday past, and the Broncos came back and rallied and beat them 35-27. So you got the preseason conference quarterback of the year, preseason conference offensive player of the year in Chevin Cordero. They've got weapons. Robinson's been running the ball. Kyrie Robinson had a big day against Boise State. They've got weapons. They've got athletes, as they always do at San Jose State. I think it's an interesting football game and a good test for the Lobos. I'm looking forward to seeing what Brent's got to say because he looks at his team and he looks them in the eye and says, okay, well, here we go now. Here's our opportunity. We're not done. We get New Mexico, Utah State, Hawaii. Fresno State's beatable. San Diego State's beatable. UNLV, we still got a chance to do stuff, and it's got to start in Albuquerque on Saturday.
And this is the way it's going to be for the Lobos. This stretch of games where you got San Jose State, Hawaii, at Nevada, UNLV. If not now, then never.
That's right.
In San Jose State, it's not going to be easy. But if you want to be that team that Danny Gonzalez is telling the world that you are competitive, that you should be able to win 6 games, well, then you should look at that 8-point line and say, all right, they're wrong about us. The defense is going to be competitive enough, but it's about that offense. And you could be looking at a game where you see, with how things are playing out in the Mountain West, 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league right now. And it's on Dylan Hopkins, and he was short and sweet because you could tell he was focused, but he was a little frustrated.
Dylan
Hopkins yesterday when he spoke to the media.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Because a lot of it was, bye week, how you feel and everything, but then it was, what do you do in the second half? Like, why is this team that's back-to-back games? You've got UMass and Wyoming where you come out and you're just flat. He's like, we just got to score more points.
Is that what he said?
We just got to score more points.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a game of the 2 quarterbacks who have the most collegiate starts in this league. Dylan Hopkins is just behind Chevin Cordero. Cordero, the former Hawaii quarterback who had a terrific career. They won the 2020 New Mexico Bowl, played in Frisco, Kirky. He transferred when the whole Todd Graham thing went down at Hawaii. Young man from Hawaii, who we really enjoyed talking to when we were in Vegas. I know you did, and I know I did as well. But a young man who bottom line balls and kind of does everything. I don't know that I say he does anything spectacularly. He does everything pretty well, right? He throws the deep ball. He reads well. He can get out of the pocket and move. Like, he's not, I wouldn't say he's great at any one thing, but I would say he's good at just about everything.
That's why Chevin Cordero has been one of my favorite quarterbacks in the Mountain West since his time at Hawaii. He's just your classic college quarterback where, this guy is shifty enough. He can beat you with his legs. He's improved as a passer where he wants to throw first, and then he'll use his legs, and that's always a big step for these guys that kind of come in and they're just runners, and he's made a lot of big plays.
All right, 505-246-0610. If you want to get in on that. Game day for the Aggies. We'll get into that. Them against Sam Houston. There were some interesting results last night. Conference USA. There was a terrific Fun Belt game last night. I don't know if you guys caught any of that amongst the baseball. We'll get in that. When we come back, boy, there's a lot of injuries to talk about in the National Football League. Who's in, who's out, who's signing. And chance you might get one of the best running backs. Actually, what I'm told by him, 99% chance you get one of the best running backs in the NFL back this week. What that means for that club and for that division, because if, in fact, it happens on Monday night, if you want to hold out till Monday night, because I got burned last week, we'll let you know who it is and what it's going to mean. That's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Deadline the NFL coming up at the end of the month. Little trade yesterday. The Rams sent wide receiver Van Jefferson to Atlanta. They swapped 6th and 7ths, and there was just no room for Van Jefferson with the emergence of Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell, and his name just wasn't nearly poetic enough. Van Jefferson's nice, but it's not nearly as cute as Puka Nacua or Tutu Atwell or even Cooper Kupp, so it didn't go with the cartoon theme that the Rams are going with, and so they traded him. That's probably not the reason. Falcons send a 6th-round pick in 2025 to the Rams. The Rams send over a 7th-round pick the next year, and they send over Van Jefferson. I don't know what this means for. It's really weird that it's Atlanta, right? Because they don't throw it very much. They've got Drake London. They've got. I think Van Jefferson's a fine NFL receiver. I don't think this is that big of a deal. They got Mac Hollins. Desmond Ritter's trying to figure out who he is. In the last 2 weeks, Desmond Ritter's actually been a decent quarterback. Good for them, I guess. Is that kind of the answer here?
It doesn't matter. It's a depth move. It's the same thing Cam Akers going to Minnesota. Fell out of favor. You're not in the rotation, and the Rams are like, let's grab a late round pick for you.
Where we could find another
and move on.
Nacua.
And if you're the Falcons, outside of the names that you said, they've just been straight rotation. Yeah. And so it's like Mac Hollins, and you're throwing other guys out there, and you're looking and say, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for a player or two going deep with Van Jefferson, and why not for a late round pick?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't really mean that much. It's just Rams just moved him. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. All right, Chargers play on Monday. They will play the Cowboys. They've been without Austin Eckler for everything since game 1. So they played, but then they had the bye last week. Eckler said he's 99% that he's going to play. He had a high ankle sprain, right ankle, week 1 against the Dolphins, and there's no official report on Tuesday, but Eckler told reporters that he was a full participant. He went through it. They're 2-2 without him. They're 2-2 with him being limited. This feels like he could be significant. Now, if you want to play him on Monday night and he's in your fantasy lineup, and be careful. I did that with Aaron Jones this weekend on Monday night. I had nowhere to go. It's dangerous. But other than your fantasy stuff, for flat out reality, look, if other teams are going to outcharge the Chargers and they get this guy back, like, this is a pretty big game. This is actually a really good Monday night game.
It's a huge
game. The Chargers and the Cowboys, and Dallas better figure something out. They just gave up 42 to San Francisco. they get a Charger team who gives up more points than anybody in the NFL per game, but they score a ton. Like, the over's the bet probably, but this is a huge game for Dallas to figure something out, because if they lose this game and go into the Rams, like, I'm not going to tell you it's going to start to spiral, but it spins a little bit, doesn't it?
It's a game that if the Cowboys offense doesn't look good
against that defense,
against the Chargers, like Dak Prescott's not making plays, CeeDee Lamb isn't eating, if Tony Pollard isn't being successful, then all those red flags, and oh, Dak can't do it, Dak can't do this because they lost San Francisco, now you can actually start making bigger statements about that, because the Chargers defense is beatable. And getting Austin Eckler back, the Chargers have not had a run game with him gone. They could not figure out a way to get Josh Kelly going at all on the ground. And this is also Kellen Moore. Mm-hmm. It's Mike McCarthy. I know it's the two offensive coordinators, but that's a huge storyline. And Kellen Moore getting, one of his second best. If you say Keenan Allen is the best weapon, but most dynamic weapon back for this game is huge. And Austin Eckler, they held him out to last week, went into the bye week, the week before the bye week. He said he's 99% playing. He's focused on coming back. And this is going to be a fantastic matchup, because the Cowboys defense, they're like, all right, we got to lick our wounds. Yeah. Everyone likes Dan Quinn, and now it's Dan Quinn versus Kellen Moore Monday Night Football.
Well, which, by the way, is beautiful. Just the coaching matchups, and we're not going to watch them in a cage match, and they don't get to spar. But the bottom line is Dan Quinn versus Kellen Moore. Who do you like better? If you don't have a dog in the fight, and you know where my allegiance lies on this, but I mean, who do you like better? And there's nothing not to like about Dan Quinn, but the way that the Cowboys did Kellen Moore, I thought was a little dirty. And so, who do you like? How good is the defense? Like, we sat here after week 2, and you and me, and I think most of America, wow, they're the best defense in the league, or one of the 2 best defenses in the league with San Francisco, because they outscored the Giants and the Jets 70-10. Okay, then Joshua Dobbs put 28 on them and beat them. Then they held Mac Jones to 3. Well, again, okay. Are there 3 worse? Give me Carolina. Give me what are the 3 worst offenses, 4 worst offenses in the league? I guess you could throw Pittsburgh in there, but they're winning games. I mean, with Carolina, give me the Jets, the Giants, and the Patriots. You get someone worse? So, yeah, they dominated those guys, and then they gave up 42 to San Francisco. So, I know we sat here with the rest of the world and said Dallas's defense is dominating, and they lose a DB, and look, losing Diggs was a big deal. But what are they? Well, this is a test. Yeah. And you're like, oh, really? The next 3 weeks are a test. Well, if you think the Cowboys' offense is good, at least has more of a pulse than what you saw, then the San Francisco 49ers defense is really good. Is elite, right? Okay. Well, they beat the Steelers, Giants, and Cardinals. Yeah, I know. So you can kind of make that argument with so many. Same Cardinals who beat the Cowboys, by the way. And San Francisco gave up 23 points to the Rams. I don't think that's horrible. No. So I believe that San Francisco is a top defense regardless. But for the Cowboys, it's easier to look at that schedule and go, are you really good? Well, you did what you had to do defensively against bad teams. Here's something else that's amazed me a little bit. Over the last, what's today, Wednesday? So it's been a day and a half. So since mid-Monday, I've heard a lot of the national guys just struggling. I can't believe that, I still have Dak in the top 10, but he's on the border of falling out of the top 10. And I get it. There's a lot of question marks in quarterback in the NFL. Okay? There's a lot of uncertainties. In fact, I would tell you there's more uncertainties in the NFL as far as teams that are uncertain at quarterback than there are certainties. I mean, I rolled down the list of New England and the Jets and the Browns and the Steelers. And, I mean, while the Texans and the Colts think they have it figured out, I'm not sure they do. Tennessee, Denver, the Raiders, the Cardinals, Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota, Washington. That's more teams than they're unstable that are stable. Okay? But people are losing their minds just trying to wrap their brains around maybe Dak Prescott isn't a top 10 guy. And look, I don't even care what a top 10 means, right? There's 32 of them. So are you in the top third? And it's all because of this $55 million price tag that everybody tells me he's going to ask for, and he probably will. Why are people having such a hard time wrapping their mind around what they see relatively regularly on Sundays and Mondays?
It's Cowboys quarterback. It's the fact he's won a lot of games in the NFL. But
he's a good guy.
The postseason success is not where you want to be. And Prescott's, it's okay. I know you want so much more when you kind of build up a guy. Like that Prescott being an above average elite quarterback, it's where a lot of these guys are. It's so hard to be a dude that carries everything, and yet it's like a negative that we throw on these guys.
I know.
And he doesn't elevate this, and he sucks. Well, where are we going? We trash so many quarterbacks. We overanalyze quarterbacks, and it's to your point of
week to week too.
It's like you still like not everyone's going to be able to walk out Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. So how are you competing in this league? How are you going to have a chance? And if you don't believe in Dak Prescott, I think a lot of people understand that and the ship has sailed. But it's like you're not benching him right now after that game against the 49ers. And to your point of kind of being frustrated with people not realizing that, okay, Dak Prescott is one of these maybe 10 to 15 quarterbacks, and that's not shocking. It's still going to give you a chance to compete in the NFL. It was also the people that wanted so much to just always bash Jerry Jones. Mm-hmm. And when they're like, Jerry Jones is insane, he doesn't see it. He says he believes in Dak Prescott. What else is he supposed to say 5 weeks into the season, guys? Like, do you want Jerry Jones to come out and go, they better be starting Cooper Rush the rest of the way? So it is just the over-analysis of that position.
Wow.
The reality is we all see it. We understand what Dak Prescott is.
Yeah. I don't know that everybody does it.
You should at this point in time.
I think that's what
good, but not great.
Yeah, and that's my point on that. That was my point in bringing this up, is I don't think the collective we does. I think the majority of people, and it's swaying back now, believed, and people with a microphone, people with a platform, believed, because it was just stated as fact. And we were one of the few places, because every time I would hear it just said, well, I mean, you got a top 10 quarterback, and so you got to pay him. I don't know, is he a top 10 quarterback? How many times did I ask that question this summer? Is he really a top 10? Well, of course he is. Why? And then you start going down the list, you're like, he's somewhere between 10 and 15, depending on your list and your dude, and maybe if you want to go to 9, but the people are just struggling trying to wrap their arms around what they've talked themselves into being fact. And I think there's a lot of what you said is right. He's a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, right? And he has had success. And there's been regular season. I think he's a good guy. I think that the owner coming out all the time, to your point on Jerry, what's he going to say? You're right. You're right. Because Jerry could turn that thing into an absolute spindling pile of poo if he doesn't say what he's the only owner who's got a damn radio spot every week, right? So what is the big boss? I don't care what the coach says. I want to know what the guy really, really pulling the string says. And so he's got to say that, because otherwise he turns that thing into just a spiral. But I've been astonished by how many people are struggling. Well, maybe he's really not a top 10. No bleep. Have you watched him? He's a good quarterback, and that's fine.
Yeah, and to your point of the dude's under contract.
Yep.
So they don't have to offer him $60 million.
That's the other thing here.
It's best case scenario for Dallas at this point is restructuring that contract and at least having more of a focus, like realizing don't tie yourself to Dak Prescott for the next 5 or 6 years, but over the next
year.
Couple of years, be more manageable. Because you get it. You keep what the national narrative is saying, right? Top 10 guy. Well, at what point is it okay to even pay a quarterback to compete? But if he's not a top 10 guy,
that's what they're doing. What's Geno making? What's Geno making?
When you look at the Geno Smith contract, Daniel Jones, everyone's like, they got it wrong. Well, you can't every year bring in a rookie.
Yeah.
Like, you still have to compete in this league. It's Kirk Cousins. It's why Minnesota is like, oh, you can't win with this guy, this or that. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, everyone wants to bench a quarterback and tank for the next quarterback.
Who's going to not be that good anyway?
And so this is what frustrates me so much about the NFL talking point is like someone feels like they're dropping the axe. Like, he's not a top 10 guy. So should you never try to compete in this league?
Look, every damn team in this league, everyone except for the Rams, has drafted a quarterback in the last bunch of years that's going to be the next guy.
Like, you can't cut 20 quarterbacks every year just because it's not an elite guy.
Right? I mean, look at New England did it with Mac Jones, and the Jets did it with Zach Wilson, and the Browns did it with 1,000 guys. Right? Most recently, Johnny Manziel, maybe most recently. Steelers are doing it with Kenny Pickett. Houston's doing it with C.J. Stroud, but they've done it with other guys. Indianapolis is doing it with Richardson. Jacksonville's doing it with Trevor Lawrence. Right? Tennessee's got 2 guys with Levis and Malik Willis. Right? Denver did it with Drew Lock. Vegas has done it. Chargers are doing it. Well, I mean, they got the Chargers hit. Arizona, I don't know. Did Arizona hit with Kyler Murray? The Niners did it with Trey Lance. Right? Atlanta did it with Ritter. Carolina's doing it now. Who's New Orleans? Did New Orleans draft this quarterback recently? Maybe they didn't. Tampa Bay didn't. They just go with old guys. Bears are doing it now. Packers are doing it now. Like, everybody's done it. And it hits, what, once out of every 8 times? 6 times? You need a quarterback. And every once in a while, you can win without a great quarterback. Ask Baltimore with Trent Dilfer. Ask the Giants with Jeff Hostetler. Phil Simms wasn't great. Right? Brad Johnson with the Buccaneers. Every once in a while, you can do it with a good quarterback and a great team.
The key, as we got to get to this break, the key here is...
Oh, wow, we're really late. Sorry.
Don't overpay for good, but stop acting like you can cut 25 quarterbacks just because they're not great.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk about one of these rookie quarterbacks. He's out for at least 4 weeks. Now what do you do? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 630 Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
Beware of a roofing company with the lowest bid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Rosendo Najar here, President of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
Omar, big Cowboy fan, sent me an email, Jeff at sports.com. Says this quarterback, Dak Prescott, has Coach Jones by the Stones. It says, Jeff, cut him and take a $60 million cap hit next season, or extend it this mess for 3 or 4 more years, and maybe drop that number to $40 million. How's the NFL's most complete franchise going to get out of this one? They're going to have to restructure it. And yeah, look, you're tied to him for the next couple of years. I don't know that I see a way out of that. Do you?
There's always a way out if you want to take a hit.
But that's yes.
And it's so. Was it Sunday night or has it been the playoffs? Like that was bad.
Well,
and I'm not trying to spin it.
Yeah, I mean, it. Look, if there was just one bad game Sunday night and he had been good in the playoffs, you'd say he had a bad game. Or if he had, all those playoffs, but he had a great Sunday night, you'd say, all right, he's getting better. Like I don't think all of a sudden people are coming to this revelation because of one game. I just don't.
My biggest question is, well, what do you want to do at quarterback? You cannot be scared to make changes. Like if something's not working, you make a move.
But like you say, what level is it not working?
But like
right?
if someone is always going to end up having to start a Desmond Ridder or Sam Howell. Do you want to be there? But it's going to happen. Like every fan base acts like if you're not aggressive, you're missing the mark. There's only so much you can do every year.
So here's
and like
answer.
winning games and being competitive is a good place to be in. But when you're not winning playoff games, then it feels like you can never get there.
So here's the answer. And Cowboy fans are not going to want to like this, okay? Reality is, over the last 5-6 years, the Tennessee Titans have been a more successful franchise than the Cowboys. Now, I don't have I'm not looking at the numbers. I just know that they went to an AFC championship game. I know that they've won some playoff games. And the poster child of that guy you just told me, Desmond Ridder or Sam Howell or whatever that gap quarterback is, has been Ryan Tannehill, right?
Yes, it has.
And he is, I mean, is it arguable that they, I mean, I know, I saw it with my eyes, they went to an AFC championship game, did they not? They were one game away from the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know what their overall, I would argue, I would guess the Cowboys' regular season record has been better than Tennessee over the last, whatever that span has been. Right? Now, you see you shaking your head. What are you confirming for me?
So Ryan Tannehill won 2 playoff games.
All right,
and it was that year he got to the AFC Championship.
Okay, those are the only 2.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your gap, right? Would you rather been them over the last bunch of years or the Cowboys? Cowboys have won big regular season games. They went to the playoffs last year. The Titans didn't. But that's what you're talking about. Look, the hitting on this Patrick Mahomes thing, this what I think is going to be Joe Burrow and Josh Allen thing, and at some point Justin Herbert, I got to believe, will win a playoff game, maybe even, right? Everybody's trying to do it. Like I watched so many swing and misses. Johnny Manziel's to Akili Smiths. I don't know why I always go there. To Ryan Leafs, to whatever.
Well, it's when you have a game like Sunday Night Football.
It was bad.
And you see that gap. And then you look, and that's the team that's defeated the Cowboys the last 2 times in their final postseason game.
Yep.
You feel like, well, this dude's not going to overcome that gap for you. And that's an okay place to be. But where I get frustrated in the conversation is people think like 27 teams can be there at the end of the season. Like, well, we don't have an elite guy, so we got to move on. You still need to find a way to compete. That's what coaching is for. That's what schemes are for. Now, where I'm listening is what you're saying. You cannot find a way to take a step forward if Dak Prescott is making $60, $65 million a year. It's not going to work with him at quarterback just because he happens to be the next guy that's hovering around an extension. And to be able to make those hard decisions, I don't think people believe that Jerry Jones is going to be able to do that.
The thing is, he needs to understand that too. And I don't know if he does or doesn't. We're here, everybody talking for him but him and his agent, right? Everybody says he's going to demand $55 million because he's up for a renegotiation or he's up for a raise or he's up. I mean, doesn't he look in the mirror at some point? Just go, damn, I'm pretty freaking lucky to be making the 45 or what's he making now? 50 million? Whatever he's making now? Like, I'm pretty stinking lucky to be making $45 million a quarterback in the Dallas Cowboys. I'm in no position to be asking for top-end quarterback money.
I don't think that's as fair as no position. He's won 64 NFL games.
Okay.
And the playoff success is not there. Ryan Tannehill has not been a better quarterback.
I never said Ryan Tannehill's a better quarterback than him. No.
He had that 1-year run.
Yeah.
So they went to the AFC Championship game.
No, and I don't know where they are in comparison on money. I'm going to guess Dak's making more money than him, right?
But Dak is the classic, right? You can compete, but can you be good enough? And I'm with you. You can't overpay.
Yeah.
And that's the decision that I don't think people believe Jerry Jones can make.
Yeah.
Is understanding, hey, we have to cap our quarterback at a level right here so we can invest in the
and people feel that way because of what Jerry's saying, and Jerry's saying it because I believe he's got to say it to keep this thing together. So we'll see what happens when the rubber meets the road. All right, I teased this on the way out. Anthony Richardson, Colts rookie quarterback, athletic, tremendous, out for at least 4 games. They put him on IR this morning. Injured reserve right shoulder. He's got an AC joint sprain that he suffered in that win over Ryan Tannehill and the Titans the other day. So they've been doing extensive consultation with different doctors to determine the length of this absence, and they believe he will miss 4 to 8 games. So welcome Gardner Minshew to the mix. If you, how do you feel about Gardner Minshew as a fantasy option on a bye week plug-in?
You could do much worse than that.
You can, right?
They say he's the best backup quarterback in the league. So
well, let's find out. He's taking over a 3-2 team that's, I don't know, they're playing well and getting Jonathan Taylor back, or has Jonathan Taylor back. So that just happened. That's this morning's news, and it's kind of a big deal when it comes to that. All right, I got more NFL injury stuff for you as you go through the middle of the week. And when we come back, they're playing a team that is not won a game yet, and they're only 3.5-point favorites. Why is that? I'll explain it because it's tonight and it's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Animal. You might appreciate this. I was walking back to my car in the parking lot yesterday after dinner, and cars looking for parking. He was just lurking And dude rolls down his window. He's like, Jeff! I'm like, oh. Hey, it's Brian. Oh, Brian, what's up? And he said a couple things like, hey, I loved your take today. I'm like, oh, yeah, what was that? He's like, Enver without that, they have no D. I thought that was, I'm like, cool. Thanks. Because it's funny, I was thinking about that yesterday. I mean, I got to train myself now to call them the Denver Broncos. Like I did. Remember, I mean, I was trained on the Dallas Cowboys. But I was telling you yesterday, Denver's got no D. They have to earn their letter. They are, as far as I'm concerned, they are the Denver Broncos the rest of the way until they earn their D.
As they should be.
He's like, yeah, I like that. I'm like, okay, cool. What are you doing? I just had dinner. I'm headed back. Oh, cool. I'm going to go have a couple beers and dinner. All right. Yeah, no, enjoy. All right. See you, Brian. And Brian, thanks for listening. Appreciate you, and appreciate you giving me the call out. All right. Aggies play tonight. They are 3.5-point favorites at home against Sam Houston. Game's on CBS Sportsnet. Last night in Conference USA, Liberty beat Jacksonville State and Rich Rod 31-13 in Alabama. And Middle Tennessee beat Louisiana Tech 31-23. So you get two games tonight. UTEP's at FIU and then Sam Houston and the Aggies. So why are the Aggies only 3.5-point favorites over a team that's 0-3? And sometimes, and I know you don't want to do this, and you think I'm giving you coach speak or making excuses. And it's sometimes you just got to look a little deeper into records. Like when I tell you, San Jose State's 1-5, but they played SC and Oregon State and Air Force, and I know you don't want to believe Toledo's any good, but they're 5-1, and they should have won at Illinois, but they're 5-1 and they're pretty good. Sam Houston isn't scoring points, so I mean the under would probably be the bet here. I don't even know what it is. I can tell you that. What do you think the over under? What would entice you to bet the over under? Go under.
Go under.
Yeah.
Thinking 43.5.
It's 42. Yeah, you're right on it. So Sam Houston opened up at BYU. Big 12 BYU. They lost 14-0, gave up 14 points. They played Air Force, who just put 49 on San Diego State the other day, who put 45 on San Jose State. They lost 13-3 against Air Force. It's a pretty high-powered offense. They lost to Houston of the Big 12, 38-7. They lost to that Jacksonville State team, who just lost their second time yesterday, 35-28, and then and Liberty, 21-16. So they're going to be hard to score on. I think this is a bigger challenge, and this is one that I know Aggie fan is probably looking at as a win, and Lobo fan is laughing at him for having to play them, and I wouldn't laugh that hard. This is a tougher one tonight on TV than I think people think.
No doubt. Bearcats' defense has been good. It's kept them in games. Early turnovers could change things for New Mexico State. We've seen that at times with the explosiveness, the big playability we've seen from them this season. I like them to make two in a row. It's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, like
second half, Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
If he is the playmaker that controls the football, that will be the difference for New Mexico State.
All right, 505-246-0610. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Good day, gentlemen. You can't beat Wednesday night football. You know,
love
with a
Wednesday.
stick.
Love it.
Maybe we'll continue this role here. Yeah. My son was telling me last week there was like 50-some straight days of football.
Yeah, we had Tuesday night last night. We had 3 games. I had a little Fun Belt, some conference midweek SA. Yeah, it was good.
The holiday season started early with the Balloon Festival. Hey, real quick, this Purdy guy, guys, in the last 25 years, I've seen a guy that was bagging groceries, go to 3 Super Bowls, win 2 league MVPs, and be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner, of course.
That's right.
Lead one of the greatest offenses ever. I saw another guy drafted in the 6th round to become the greatest player in the history of the league. This Purdy guy just might be better than what we think, and how it's playing out, can he throw the ball 80 yards? No, but he can throw the ball 40 yards twice. So I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed with his decision making, his accuracy, his leadership, and I think he improves every week. Your premonition, Jeff, is amazing. About 2 years ago, my friends are all Cowboy fans, and we get into these text messages about Dak. By the way, I'm not dumping on Dak. I think that JJ illustrates things really well. Never as bad as you think and never as good as you think, somewhere in the mean. I told them that you want to see the ceiling of Dak, it's Ryan Tannehill. And they blistered me. Mm-hmm. They blistered me, and I said, he may have a little more regular season success, but there's your measuring stick, Ryan Tannehill. And they obliterated me. Guys, I think all I do is look at the data presented in front of me. And to me, it's pretty evident that when he's trailing, when you need him to lead the team and become a force multiplier, the capability may not be there at all times. And the other night, he played 10 series. There was 4 3-and-outs. He threw 3 picks. There was 1 fumble that was out of his control. He had a nice TD drive, and he had a field goal, right?
Data.
4
Facts.
3-and-outs.
Facts.
Yeah, I track the data.
That's
right. You're going to talk, we'll talk data. Now, do you move off Dak? I don't know, right? JJ's right. Then you're right back in purgatory, which they're kind of in purgatory right now. It's not that easy to win in the NFL. I told my friends in the Tony Romo, Dak Prescott era, the San Francisco 49ers have been to 6 NFC championships and a couple of Super Bowls, and they still haven't been able to break through. That's how hard it is to win in the NFL. And my friend said, we would still take the Cowboys' regular season success over that. And I'm like, I'm done. I'll get to dissonance. Last point, guys. The Crusher came out in June and said his bold prediction for the NFL season is at some point during the season, they're going to bench Dak. Maybe not permanently, but they're going to sit him down and let's reassess. I think we're inching a little bit closer to that, my friends.
All right.
Have
Enjoy
a nice
yourself.
day.
See you. First thing on the Brock Star. Brock Purdy, like, can we get over that some weird thing? Like, can we just decide the Brock Star is pretty damn good? He's won his first 9 starts. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He will at some point, and you go, I told you, here it comes. No, the Brock Star is really good. I don't care where he was drafted, where he went to school, any of it. He's pretty damn good. And when we come back, Dylan Brooks, new team, same tactics. Did he really hit a dude in the junk in a preseason game? You are what you are. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This New Mexican is headed to London.
We just drawn the winner of the London.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
All right, before we move on, and if you're just joining us, we're talking quarterbacks and Dak, and we just had a call on Brock Purdy. And at some point, and the point is now, the point has come. You got to get over this Brock Purdy thing. Is just like a bridge, that it's some weird little anomaly, that it's going to go away. Yeah, he will lose games, I promise. I mean, I think he will. Right, as of now, he's freaking Father Time. He's never lost. Undefeated. He will lose games, but we've got to get over this. Yeah, but, no. Look, they tried Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, Jim Garoppolo. If you want to tell me it's the system, fine. Tell me this is the system. All I know is I watch a guy who's making throws, who's making decisions, who's not making mistakes, who's winning games, who looks like he belongs, who is calm, poised, and doesn't. If you're unflappable, does that mean you don't flap? I mean, I'll ask you, we just had 2 segments of conversation about Dak. And I know you like to put it in these contexts. In the Niners or in the Cowboys, pick, and you can tell me if one's better in one system, one's better in the other. But you're the Niners. Do you want Dak Prescott or do you want Brock Purdy?
It's an easy answer if you're the Niners.
All right, if you're the Cowboys, do you
watching the performance,
okay,
and the fact you're like, we're paying this guy nothing, and that's how we can
take the money. I want to take long. The money's an easy one. I'm paying that guy $850,000. I'm paying that guy $45 million. So you're the Cowboys. Aside from the short contract, right? Who do you want a quarterback? Brock Purdy or do you want Dak Prescott?
I think it's so hard for everyone just to figure out who Brock Purdy really is.
Why?
Because we watched Jimmy Garoppolo go to a Super Bowl with that team. And there's not many quarterbacks that people are going, yeah, I'm taking Jimmy Garoppolo over.
Yeah, but they never bought into Jim Garoppolo, right? They never he went to a Super Bowl and then they immediately drafted Trey Lance. So that staff never said, yeah, that's the dude. This guy, they got rid of everybody for this guy.
They did. And it's a buy-in. I don't know. And it could be this is something that just listen to what they are saying. Yeah. Listen to what the players.
And trust what you're watching, too.
Are saying. The fact that he's not turning it over, it's a little crazy. And sometimes there's just even a tip at the line of scrimmage and it gets intercepted, and that's not even happening right now.
And it will.
With Brock Purdy. The way he's throwing the football, his accuracy, there's nothing to discredit Brock Purdy for. Like, he's doing exactly what I want. It's like, you have a really talented team, and he is making sure that this ship is sailing in clean water, and it's not choppy at all because of the quarterback.
Now, did he find himself in a better situation than Bryce Young did? Or, yeah, he did. But you know what? Bryce Young was the first overall pick in the draft and making millions, and this guy was like the last piece off the scrap heap and making hundreds of thousands, right? And so, yeah, when you're the first, second, third pick, you usually don't find yourself in a great situation, and it takes a while to create one. When you're not picked there, whether it's, I don't know, when Will Levis gets a shot, I'm really interested to see how that plays. I'm really interested in Will Levis.
I think what we're pointing out, too, is if it was as simple as it's kind of like add water and bake,
yeah,
then Trey Lance would have worked. Like,
now, he didn't say healthy, but yeah.
Yeah, but they would have just gone right back to it and been like, all right, this is the guy we invested in.
Yeah.
Let's give him the keys to the offense. And they did it. And they quickly moved off that.
Quickly.
Didn't even try to force it.
Ate it, moved.
Like, all right, we're done with this.
Yeah.
We're on to Brock Purdy. And it's the belief that the team has him, the playmaking. It's just solid, man.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. And I think there's 3 things that are holding people back. One, and the overriding one, is he can't be that good if he was the last pick in the draft. If he was Mr. Rel, he just can't be. There's something going on. 2 is his size. He doesn't look like he he is smallish without a great arm. And 3, people are telling me, well, it's the system. He's just a system quarterback. And I always love that term because I hate that term, if that makes any sense, right? Yeah, everybody's a system quarterback. You got to work in your system, right? Was Tom Brady just a system quarterback? Well, no, Jeff, he won at Tampa Bay. Are there guys who are more athletic, bigger, stronger arms? Yeah. But I don't know. I watched, is it 4 other guys in this system? Jim Garoppolo had success in the system, yeah. Jim Garoppolo is you can start having the conversation if you want. I mean, we're going to start comparing Jim Garoppolo to Dak Prescott here pretty soon. Right? Trey Lance, they invested everything in him. All those drafts didn't work. Sam Darnold came in. He was a top 3 pick. Didn't work. I mean, he's there, but he didn't beat him out. And these are guys who, I mean, when you ask people who's the best offensive mind in the NFL, it's this tree, right? It's Shanahan. It's McDaniel. I mean, he's him and McVay. But this is the hot guy. He's beating the hell out of McVay like 9 in a row, right? He owns him. And they've completely bought in. And I don't know. I got eyes like you do. What are you watching on Sunday? I'm watching a dude who is in absolute control of what's going on out there and is undefeated in the regular season in every game that he was able to lift his arm after the game.
And that's the thing. There's no negative data points on Brock Purdy. Like, so you can't say he can't be that guy because he hasn't shown you otherwise.
Yeah.
And the one game they lost, he couldn't throw a football. Yeah. And there is, one thing I think is fair is, all right, what happens when San Francisco's down 10 points in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I want to see it too.
You just haven't seen that.
Yeah.
And so
I want to see
question,
it too.
What happens when he's healthy and he throws 2 interceptions in the playoffs?
No, I want to see that too. I think that's the
going to
missing
come because
piece.
he's 10-0 and he's cheap.
Yeah.
What happens if he's good
And they play from ahead all the time.
Yeah. How does he play from behind? I think it's a fair question. It doesn't mean that he can't do it.
Totally fair.
We just haven't need to see it yet.
Yep.
And then if he is the dude 3 years from now, when you got to pay him money, I think that's also I think that happened with Jimmy Garoppolo. Is quarterbacks get contracts, and you can no longer just be this guy.
Why
Because the
can't he be
pressure
this
changes.
guy? Why can't he be this guy? Who does he got to be? What is he not doing? Why can't he be this guy?
Well, why wasn't Jimmy Garoppolo that guy for them?
Well, because Jimmy Garoppolo was losing a few games. I mean, I don't know. If he gets them to where they want to go.
Jimmy Garoppolo's 42-19.
All right, if they win a Super Bowl with this guy, he's the guy, right?
Of course, they win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, when you have to pay this guy, when he has that playoff
that's totally fair
game.
Yeah. That's what you haven't seen yet. But he won the one playoff game he finished, right?
It's crazy because there's nothing like it.
Yeah. All right. NBA hasn't started yet. They got preseason. Your guy Dylan Brooks. Remember Dylan Brooks, the guy that basically got run out of Memphis, right?
Yeah.
For being Dylan Brooks, for being Dylan the villain. So he's in Houston. You remember him. He hits guys in the junk. He talks a lot of mess. He's the guy who got into it with Shannon Sharp courtside at Crypto.com Center. Is that what it's called now? Right? Staple? Yeah. All right. So first game with his new team, the Houston Rockets. That's where you're not going to see Dylan Brooks this year because you're not going to watch a Rockets game. He was 5 minutes into his first game preseason, and he got ejected for hitting a dude in the junk. He says he didn't mean to hit Daniel Tice square in the nads as he was fighting around a pick. Quote, I tried to navigate a screen. I might have tapped him below the waist, but he got right back up. I don't know. It's weird. Every time it happens to me, I get picked on. I guess it's part of reputation, end quote. Yeah. Yeah, when you got a reputation of hitting dudes in the junk, and then, I don't know, you hit dudes in the junk, part of your reputation kind of surfaces, doesn't it? What did you, as I was showing this to you during the break, what did you say? Because you said it perfectly.
Well, what did I say?
You said, stop hitting dudes in the junk. I mean, it's really that simple, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what you said. You watch the video and you're like, dude, stop hitting dudes in the junk.
There's no place for that Like the fact that there's dudes that have done it multiple times, and if you have a reputation for that, you need an intervention. That's not basketball. That's like below the belt. If you want to run through a screen, run through a screen. You want to put your elbows in someone's chest, put a shoulder down.
Be physical. Be physical. Yeah.
Be physical. Don't be hitting people below the belt and then acting all like, "Oh, what did I do wrong?"
Somebody's got to knock
immediate,
that
like
dude
that's the immediate.
Yeah.
I am swinging and taking my suspension.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's going to knock the dude out. And you know what? Everybody's going to cheer. And that's why he ended up in basketball purgatory. It's Houston right now, isn't it? You know how I always tell you Orlando, and I still think that, is like the most irrelevant franchise in the NBA. You never hear about Orlando. You ever see an Orlando game? You ever hear about them? Name 3 Orlando Magic, right? Or magicians, as I like to call them when you're on the Magic. You're a magician.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. The Rockets are going to be that team. All right, Eddie Nunez is going to be with us coming up at 8:30. We're going to talk to the athletic director at UNM about the new UNM strategic plan moving forward. What is it? What does it mean? And then 9:30, Brent Brennan, San Jose State's head football coach, who I always enjoy the conversation with him, but he's bringing his team in to play the Lobos this weekend, so we're going to catch up with Brent and talk to him about the schedule they played. And they're an 8-point favorite over UNM in New Mexico this weekend, so we'll talk to him about that. When we return, Bill Belichick may not get to go out on his terms. There's a new report out on what the owner says, and I don't know, is he open to firing Bill Belichick? It's on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football. About IPS. They offer standing guards, 24-hour patrols, protect your home, protect your business. You may not know that IPS also installs home alarms and business alarms. They've been doing this for years, but they want to remind you that if you don't have an alarm in Albuquerque, you are much more likely to be a victim of a break-in. The IPS technology team also installs video cameras to record criminals who vandalize or steal company or home property, and the video will help the police in the investigation. When bad guys see surveillance, it discourages criminal activity. IPS can set up your business with access control, so only the people authorized to get into your facility will get into your facility. Sign up and have IPS monitor your alarm and cameras. When they see something or the alarm goes off, it's 7 minutes or less before they get to your home. 7 minutes or less before they get to your business, and check it out. Obviously, police are overwhelmed. There's much less of them, and they're not there for hours. IPS provides the manpower and technology to protect you. IPS will protect you and your family and your property. It's a winning combination. IPS's number, 505-897-8420. That's not right. Let me give you the number again, 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Or they're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work. This report is...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
He's the greatest at what he's done. Many people believe that, some don't. Bill Belichick is considered in many circles, certainly in this era, the greatest head coach in the history of the NFL. So when you're the greatest, you kind of go out on your terms, don't you? Nobody gets to well, that's not fair. Very few of us get to choose the terms on which we go out, right? When it's all said and done. I don't know, who do we have a big retirement party for recently? Right? Dennis Snyder or Rich Ford gets to go out when he wants. Trying to think who we celebrate, right? I mean, it's like people just kind of, all right, you're told when it's over. Somebody new comes in, the new boss comes in, or in this case, the old boss. Belichick is getting closer, although agonizingly slowly closer, to the all-time record for wins. Patriots and their owner are frustrated, and Bob Kraft is the owner. Tom Brady's been gone since 2020. And according to The Athletic, if things don't improve soon, it may end with Belichick being asked to leave. The Athletic says, this is Jeff Howe in The Athletic, quote, there's a school of thought that suggests Bill Belichick has earned the right to go out on his own accord, that the architect of the greatest dynasty in NFL history can coach in New England as long as he chooses. Kraft does not subscribe to it, end quote. It says he likes to remind people, Kraft, he grew up a Patriots fan, but that doesn't mean he has patience to endure what they're going through. Patriots are 1-4. They've been outscored 72-3 in their last two outings. This has been a talk, and the people who don't like Belichick have just been waiting for this, right? They've been waiting for this. Do you believe that Kraft is going to whack Bill Belichick?
I don't. I think there's a meeting after this season.
Yeah.
And I would give Bill Belichick an opportunity. All right, you need to do something different. Maybe they need to bring in a general manager.
Yeah.
Like, you can't keep having your buddies on the coaching staff. And that is hard because every coaching staff is all of your friends. But in this case...
Well, who should hire the coaching staff? I mean, it's got to be the coach.
But, I mean, in this case, it's more of the same. Oh, is it a coaching issue or is it a general manager issue? Like, is it... Oh, Bill Belichick can't coach. Bill O'Brien can't be an offensive coordinator. I think the biggest thing is obviously that someone else needs to make personnel decisions in New England.
I think that is the biggest thing. I asked you this a number of times, and I'll ask it again, because I don't think the roster's very good. And defensively, they're depleted, right? They were good defensively, but they beat up. They're running it with Mac Jones. And look, whose fault is Mac Jones? If you want to tell me it's Belichick's, you're probably right. But they're running Mac Jones out there. Like, what are we doing? And you can't win with Mac Jones at this level. Like, we just had this conversation about Dak Prescott, and you're struggling with Dak Prescott. Well, they're running Mac Jones out there. I don't know how they're supposed to do this. Belichick didn't forget how to coach. Well, it's passed him by. No, I don't think it has. And I told you the other day, this reminds me so much of Popovich.
Yeah.
Right? And I haven't heard anybody say that anywhere. But it reminds me, Popovich was really, really good when he had Duncan and Ginobili and Parker and Kawhi Leonard and all those guys. Not as good, right? Afterwards. So, I don't know. This will be an interesting one to watch. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Good morning. Wow, whoever thought you'd be able to see college football Tuesday and Wednesday?
Yeah, why not? The hell? We're watching.
Yeah, I just feel sorry for students. I guess it doesn't matter these days because everything is online. And remember when you actually had to go to class, Jeff?
I do. I even went once in a while. Yeah.
Interesting game last night. Watched the Liberty Flames and Jacksonville State. I had forgotten that's where Rich Rod landed.
Yeah, Rich Rod's doing a hell of a job, Dan. Now, they didn't win last night, but what are they, 5-2 over there?
I think 5-2, yeah, and the Flames are still undefeated, right?
Yeah, Liberty has not been beat. They still got to play South Carolina, but it'll be interesting if they run the table. Yeah.
Yeah, and people want to poo-poo this game. I've been watching San Jose State. They're a good football team. And yeah, your record is what your record says, but that doesn't make you a bad football team. That means you just haven't been able to prevail in the games that you've played. I'm going. I wish other people would. I don't know what it is about people in Balloon Fiesta that they get up early and then they just decide they can go back to bed. But, I'm asking people out there, rally the troops and make it to the game. It's going to be gorgeous weather, 75 degrees and sunny.
Yep.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Should be nice.
Typical. Yep. So I would like to see more than 17,000 people out there. We have our hardcore of 17,000, but someday, people, you got to just wake up and you got to go to the games. You want the Lobos to win, and it's not a chicken or an egg. When you have a full stadium of fans, it does motivate the team. That's the fact. So I'd like to see some people rally out there. Maybe we can get 22,000 out there, and make it an afternoon because it's going to be a good football game.
I think it is too. Yeah, they're good.
I appreciate the way they're playing, and I think UNM has come a long way from last year.
I think I think it'll be a fun one out there too. All right, enjoy it out there. I know I'll see you there.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Thanks.
Take care.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk Lobo sports. UNM Athletic Director Eddie Nunez is going to join us. They unveiled this week their strategic plan. What does it mean? What is it? It's a lot of words and a lot of slogans, but what is it and what is it going to do? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
.610, the sports animal.
Global football back at it on Saturday, 4 o'clock. San Jose State is in town. 4 o'clock start. Get out there, enjoy it. You can listen to it over on News Radio KKOB. Robert Portnoy and Dontrell Moore will have the call. JJ and Nedward have the pregame show starting at 3 o'clock. If you're out of town, want to watch it on the Mountain West Network, I will have the call with George Carter. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. So earlier this week, UNM announced Unmatched Excellence, the Lobo Standard Strategic Plan. And what does it mean? And I want to catch up with Eddie on a couple of things. I know you've been asking a lot about where are we on the conference uncertainty. I don't even, what do we call it, alignment anymore? So a couple of things that I thought it would be a good time to catch up. with the athletic director at the University of New Mexico, Eddie Nunez, who joins us this morning. Good day, sir. How you living?
Living great. Great to have and great to be on. How you guys doing?
Yeah, everything's good, and appreciate you spending some time. Hey, I want to get into the Lobo Standard, but kind of quickly, and I don't know if it's quickly, update on anything that you're able to share, because I get asked every day, what's the deal with conference stuff and the Oregon State, Washington State, and is the league secure? I was on the road last week, and I got a chance to talk to a couple of athletic directors, kind of 4 of them in your league, and just kind of anything moving on that you can share?
I actually listen to you guys in the morning to see if you guys could tell me what's happening.
Yeah, but, you do.
No, I think we're still watching what's happening with the PAC, whatever the number they want to call themselves, and the legal aspect of what's transpiring behind the scenes between Washington State, Oregon State, the rest of the league that has already defected. So a lot of that right now is trying to see where this goes. They're trying to find out what assets they have, what can they keep. The dialogue is still continuing, to my knowledge. I know President Stokes is still heavily involved with Commissioner Navarez. So we get updates every once in a while, and honestly, right now it's still staying the course. I think things will continue to ramp up over the next couple weeks. Why? Because football scheduling has to really get defined for them more than for us. And if they're going to be a part of the Mountain West or some kind of something, whatever it turns out to be, we're going to have to identify that sooner rather than later. So it's coming, and it's coming fast.
I think Lobo fan, and this is the question I get asked the most, and I hear this from Lobo fans, and I'll phrase it exactly how I hear it. Are we going to get left out? Right? And that, I know you hear it too. Do you feel that the league, the Mountain West teams, the 12 schools in the Mountain West, do you feel that they are aligned? And because I ask a number of athletic directors, how do you look across the room and trust anybody, right? You're looking out for you, they're looking out for them, but you're all sitting in a room saying, well, we're all united. And there's all the stories about maybe picking the top of whatever the top means off of this league and another league and putting it together. That's the biggest question. I know you hear it.
Yeah, look, I can tell you that the conversations that are happening within our league and the ADs and the presidents, there's alignment now probably as best as it's been for a long while. I mean, yes, we had the whole San Diego State debacle and everything going back and forth. I think from my perspective, the way I look at it, this is just me, that I think everybody's always going to be looking out for themselves as well. They look out for the league, but they also look out for themselves. So there is a little bit of trust that you have to have, but you also understand that everybody, just like ourselves, if somebody came and offered us a much better situation, the consideration would be there. So I don't want to discard that and say that nobody's thinking about it. Are those possibilities present? Yeah. I mean, I think every possibility to make the PAC something better, they're going to try to make it happen. The reality is there's some pretty large buyouts and situations that would preclude that from just happening as easy as people think it would. So I would tell you today, the conversations right now, more than anything, are us as a whole, as a league, moving forward together. But as the University of New Mexico, I'll tell you right now, that's why it's important for us to be able to put a plan together, let people know what we need to do if we want to continue to be in the conversation of not just being in the top half of the Mountain West, but being in the consideration for even bigger and better things in the future.
He's Global Athletic Director Eddie Nunez. He's with us on the Sports Animal.
Eddie, how many different strings are there just in terms of scenarios that you, the conference, the presidents, all the ADs just have to address in terms of this is what it would look like, hey, if it's just basketball, or if we do football this, or even just presenting plans or getting ideas from your television partners? Like, how many different folders do you guys just have that you look at and somehow have to piece it all together?
Wow, I think you've hit on several real big ones. Television's a big one. Scheduling's a big one because you have different factors that play into that. Both, yes, they overlap between television and scheduling and everything else, but you got multiple sports. You got when you think about scheduling, people don't realize that's scheduling hotels, that's scheduling charters, that's scheduling planes, people, things in years in advance. So it's not easy to move 100 plus people and find hotel rooms and everything else. And if you're adding individuals to our conference, that's a whole new region, or not region, I would say a whole new state that we're going to be traveling to, several of us, if that's what ends up happening. So there's a lot of logistical issues that need to be discussed. But more than anything, it goes down to money, and it goes down to how can we better the league. for our student athletes, to give them a chance to compete at the highest level, to be in the CFP conversations, to be in the NCAA, make our units even better than we've done. So there's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle, but it starts first and foremost with making sure that you have partners that want to be together, knowing TV is about to be renegotiated here sooner rather than later. All that kind of plays a big part in this process. I'm not going to sit here and say one's more important than the other. I think they're all as important, and at different times, one's more than the other. But right now, I would tell you, for us, we have to continue to lead the charge, and I'm excited, and I know it's hard for people to realize this, but to have President Stokes in those conversations, leading the charge for the league, and not just representing the Mountain West, but she's representing our institution, our state.
Yeah, and that's where some Lobo fans say, "Well, at least our president's out there, and so maybe we won't get left out." And that's the conversation I hear almost more than any other. All right, Lobo standards. So the UNM match excellence. What is it, and why was this important?
What is it? It's basically our guiding principle. It's like a playbook. It's our, everybody says this is our, it's a strategic plan. Okay, what does that mean? Because a lot of people see that and they put it on a shelf and say, okay, we check the box.
Yeah, all right, we got our mission statement out, done. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is. I wanted a living document, a flexible document that's going to allow us to, again, with the changing landscape, we have to be able to evolve. So it was redefining who we are, working with every stakeholder, putting everything in place to make sure that we have the guiding principles that are going to lead us in every decision we make. When people ask me what is it, what's the need, I want to be setting the standard for what people expect in college athletics for our state. When it comes to every aspect, from winning, from representing the institution, the state, every aspect of college athletics, I want to set the standard of excellence. And so from that perspective, it's why we took the time now to make it happen. I would have loved to do this when I first arrived here, but between all the issues and everything else, I needed to build the trust with our fan base, and I felt now was the time.
You needed the time to be an athletic director when you got here, too. I mean, there was a lot going on
that didn't happen.
At that point. Eddie Nunez, a few more minutes, is with us. All right, the beneficiary of this is who? Is it the student athletes? Is it the community? Is it stakeholders? How is the Lobo fan, or maybe they're not, going to feel any difference or any effect of this?
Yeah, so I love that question because I've been asked a couple times, and who benefits? We all do, and it's the general fan that or donor won't see it every minute of the day. This is something we've already been living in our department. We're kind of rolling on a high when it comes to academic successes, records that we set, fundraising, championships, nationally, conference-wise. When you look at all those different areas, we've been doing it with this standard. All we've done is we've put this into place. We've listened to our fans to make sure they understood it, that we did what we needed to do so that they understand that this is the standard that we're setting. This is how we're going to evolve. So they're not going to see it as far as like, well, it's going to bring more championships. Well, that's part of it, but part of that comes with culture. And if we're building culture drives championships. It drives everything we do. So this standard is about doing everything, ticketing, representing ourselves, representing our community, our state, being engaged, the way we carry ourselves, how we drive, the narrative. All that is doing it at the standard of what we consider an unmatched excellence. I mean, it's nobody. If we do it right, nobody can match us.
I get that,
and we've shown it.
And so I'm going to ask you something, and it's probably outside of this. I think when I first heard this, I thought this is where it was going, and then I got like 2 calls asking, is this part of it? Facility improvement, and that's something completely different, right? That's not part of this strategic plan. That's more of a capital strategic plan, correct?
Yep. Yeah, and that kind of goes in the same scenario that when I first arrived here, we're just playing catch up with maintenance reserve and everything else. But the reality is, for us to be at the highest level, to succeed at the highest level, we have to invest in facilities. Now, that's going to come at some point, but the reality is it's already started. People will see some more iterations of it as we go through the next several months, several years, but the reality is it's already started. We need to invest in our football stadium. Why? Because it's going to give us a chance to be successful. It's going to give us a chance to do more in that venue than we can do in a lot of things. We got to invest in the pit. We got to invest in Title IX. You know, we've got to invest in our student athletes, in the mental health. So there's so many different aspects of this, and our fans have stepped up, and our state has stepped up, and our university is stepping up. So as we look at all this, we've got to keep that momentum going. If we're going to do this, yeah, we got to invest in facilities. If you look at everybody else that's been in this conversation of realignment, they've invested in their football first and foremost.
Point. Yeah, everybody in your league, and I've gone through it. And I was at 2 stadiums last week, and when I try to explain to people, why do you need? What does it matter? No, it matters in a huge way. Everybody in your league, and pretty much everyone in college football, has invested in their football facility.
Yeah, and it's doing it right. It's not just doing it to make it pretty or anything else. It's doing it so it addresses the fan experience. It keeps us in the forefront of what's considered the best of the best. The Pit is an unbelievable facility. It has great – I mean, the fan base makes it what it is. But the reality is, if we invested in that facility years ago in the functionality and other areas that probably would have made it even better – we would truly be in the pinnacle when it comes to basketball facilities. And now that's what we have to do for football. You've seen it with the weight room. You've seen it with other facilities that we invested in. We're not here to do it just to make it pretty. We're here to do it functional and make our student athletes better.
Yeah, you got a meeting with the boss. Don't keep her waiting.
I do.
Always appreciate you spending some time with us. We'll see you out at the football game on Saturday, and good luck this weekend.
Guys, I appreciate everything you guys do, and look forward to seeing you Saturday.
All right, be well. Eddie Nunez, the athletic director at the University of New Mexico. So it's a plan. It's basically, this is who we are. And it's trying to be proactive. Like, everybody puts one together when they have to, right? I'll give you that. I appreciate going out and saying this is who we want to be, unprompted, and saying, we want to be. Now you got to be it, right? Now you got to go through with it.
Well, and this is, as Eddie was mentioning, this is something new announced, but this is hyper-focused on the student athletes. This is about bringing the campus together. This is about graduation opportunities, connecting student athletes with the present and the future.
And I think also what we got out of that is there's a lull, but not a lull in the conversation on the alignment. But there is some urgency, because he's right. We saw the Big 12 come out, what was it, 2 days ago, with their football scheduling as far as who's playing who over the next 4 or 5 years. That happens now. And so there's going to have to be some clarity relatively soon on what the conference is going to look like. All right, 9 o'clock, we'll do Red Zone. We'll go into the Red Zone. DC's put together some really cool stuff on the NFL. 9:30, Brent Brennan is going to be with us, the head football coach at San Jose State. Talk to him about the Spartans and his terrific quarterback, Chevin Cordero. So that's all coming up on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football. All right, so Fiesta's almost through. Now you're going to the holidays, busiest time of the year, period, right? You're going to spend a ton of time in your car. Now the weather's going to start hitting, and it's going to get stuff in there. Get your car detailed. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I don't tell you what to do. I suggest this stuff. And if you're going to ask me, and I know you do, where should I go? It's On the Spot Automotive Detailing. The best. And you don't go to them. Let me rephrase that. They come to you where it's convenient, when it's convenient. That's how this works. What do you mean, Jeff? Well, I'm in my office because I'm busy. You're in your office because you're busy. And you don't have time to take your vehicle somewhere, drop it off, go back an hour, 2 hours later, nor do I. That's why they are in the parking lot whilst you're working and detailing your vehicle. Then you get a text and you go, oh, I forgot they were out there. And you go out and people are standing around staring at your vehicle, and it is like the day you took it off the lot. That's how this works. It is unbelievable. Get your car professionally detailed. Ask them about a fresh coat of wax, ceramic coating, the best way to protect your car. On the Spot also offers a 10% discount to our military and teachers. Schedule by calling 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859, or you can schedule online at otsdetailing.com.
This report is sponsored by Blind.
Olivas going to the corner of the end zone. Nice grab there by Josh Jackson, and that's going to be a touchdown, El Dorado.
Their strong point, their focal point here.
Nelson will keep it himself for some room on the right side. Nelson's on his feet, and he is in. It's a touchdown for Noah Nelson.
Sliding, they slid out of going out there. Linebacker, they're going for the big gutter play. How did he hold on to that? Ethan Olguin. My goodness, a 32-yard bomb. He's going to launch this one long, and it's a little bit short, but what a pull down. Fabian Trujillo. Unbelievable, this man.
Dyer, back to pass. Pressure, gets out of it nicely. On the sideline, got an open man. It's Lambrana. Cheeto makes one miss. Cuts back up the middle. Another cut to the right, and he's all the way down at the 10-yard line.
Is that Sweet Pete Jr.?
Right?
That's Sweet Pete Jr. right
What a
there.
move there by Cheeto Lambrera.
Second and 1, give it to Gallus. Once again, he evades one tackle, evades two. Breaking into the open, there's a block, bye-bye. And he breaks the last tackle to get through. Jack Gallus with the touchdown.
Happy with his defense so far. Vukovic, and that ball is ripped up. Bernalillo will have this ball at the 1-yard line.
That's the extra yards for Cheeto. Dyer quickly, it's batted into the air, and it is picked off. Rams football as Rio Rancho finally gets the turnover they need as it's tipped into the waiting arms of Vicente Tafoya. Ryan Brown that punched it into the air and allowed Tafoya to come away with it. Let's see if Nelson can make it
right
pay.
back.
No! LaCueva gets it back on another tip drill. It falls into the waiting arms of the senior Luke Ryder.
Kick is up. It will bounce into the arms of Daniel Garcia, and Garcia explodes through the middle. He dodges Castro, and Garcia will run that one back from about the 17-yard line. Call that one an 83-yard touchdown rush.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I know we're not doing Red Zone till 9, but I just checked my transactions and I got denied. Like I got, it's a 2-quarterback league. All these guys on bye. I may be a Gardner Minshew guy this weekend. You know, Gardner Minshew versus, I just asked JJ, Gardner Minshew versus Jacksonville, or Desmond Ridder versus Washington, or Ryan Tannehill versus Baltimore. That's what I'm down to. I know, dude.
Wow, that is
I know.
I lost
Gardner.
Anthony. Sorry about that. I lost Anthony.
Oh, Jeff, not another penny into those old dumps. We need new state-of-the-art venues. How's that happening? I'm just curious. What's building a new stadium costing these days?
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's right. I mean, if your option is leave it as it is or make it better, not just prettier, better. And that's going to be the key here. And I have heard of some plans that there's going to be a sizable budget, partially privately raised and partially matched by the state. And it's a state facility. So I don't have a problem with that. To renovate the stadium. And, for those of you, there's a reason I haven't read the drop down to FCS and NAIA and all the emails that you sent recently. We're not. It's a bad take, and it's not happening. And for those of you who don't think that the facility needs upgrade, you're wrong. And I don't mean to be. It's very rare where I just say you're wrong. Your take is a bad one. But it does. You're wrong when it comes to this, because the goal of the university and that athletic department is to compete at the level that you all want the other sports to compete at. And football is a key component of that. And I've been around a lot of facilities, everybody's upgrading their facility. And this one hasn't been upgraded. Probably, what was the last thing they did here? They built the weight room. But they enclosed that north end zone 25 years ago?
Scoreboard, the last thing they did?
Yeah, and the scoreboard, right? I mean, there's a lot of problems with the video board right now. They took out the tree. Oh, you weren't here.
Down.
You weren't here when they had to remove that damn tree. Oh, people were losing their mind. The tree fell down. They're on that hill, on the grass hill down in that southeast corner. Oh, I mean, you'd have thought that they canceled Balloon Fiesta. Yeah. But the tree's gone. It's time. And look, you need wider concourses. You need better access points. You need better press box. You need more premium seating. No, not that. Yeah, yes, you do. You need like better amenities, and that's coming. But it's got to be part of it. But Gene, to your point, I mean, I don't know. You want to level it and start it? Would you tell me where that money's coming from? I'm listening. I'm sure they are too. All right, Brent Brennan's going to be with us. He is the head football coach at San Jose State. Spartans are coming to town this weekend. Looking forward to having a conversation with Brent. Good dude, good coach, great personality. I think you're going to enjoy that. Coming up next, we're going in the red zone. Enver, are they going to be buyers or sellers or nothing when it comes to the trade deadline? And what would you do if you were this team? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. And the AM is 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Checking to see if that thing's there. It's the opening drive, and we're here. Good morning to you. Big stuff going on. Astros beat the Twins yesterday. Just a couple of boys from the Burque having a little ball game. Alex Bregman with a home run, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Astros are up 2-1. We'll try to close the Twins out today. Mitch Garver, Albuquerque, New Mexico. 2-run double for the Rangers in their 7-1 victory over the Stig Orioles. And Baltimore has been swept. Rangers will wait for the winner of the Astros and Twins in the American League Championship Series. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. NBA news this morning, Anthony Richardson, Colts quarterback, will be out 4 to 8 weeks. They put him on IR. He's got a shoulder injury. Say hello to Gardner. It's one of my favorite Chris Bermanisms. Gardner Minshew. It's a good one. That was along with AJ Where Does It Hoyt. I mean, he's got some really good ones, but I always laugh at that. All right, let's go into the red zone and tackle some of the big issues in the National Football League.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Let's go, baby!
It's 1st and goal.
Well, the Broncos have been at the center of much of the trade speculation that's recently emerged. However, Sean Payton suggested that they will not be making any moves before the deadline. Payton said on Tuesday via team transcript when he was asked about conversations with George Payton, the general manager, as the trade deadline approaches. Sean Payton said, "We're not looking to do any business with any of our players." And then he went on to say, "That doesn't prevent teams from calling us at times. You pick up the phone. That's kind of where it's at." So is Sean Payton serious about not making moves, or will the Denver Broncos be sellers before the deadline? And if they are sellers, who moves?
Sean Payton is telling the entire league, call us. Yes. That's what that statement says. Call us and make us an offer, and we will discuss that offer.
All right, what does Denver have draft capital-wise? Like, how are they set up for next year? Are they fine?
I believe that now they do own, like their own first-round pick.
All right, mid-rounds where they're going to build the roster. Denver, okay, so you got to look at it for a number of ways. What do they have that people want? So, Pat Surtain, is that what somebody wants? Somebody want Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton? What do their contracts look like? What pieces do people want? And if somebody wants, and if they want them bad enough and you up the price, look, you're not good. Your defense is horrible. If I can find me some draft capital that makes sense, and like I don't want to trade my best pieces.
Yeah, you're not trading Pat Surtain.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Hey, can you get a 5th-round pick for Cortland Sutton?
Yeah.
If someone trades, if you're done with Jerry Jeudy and not want to pay him, is he worth even a 3rd-round pick, the former first-round wide receiver? There's not a lot there where it's going to wow you. In return, it's just giving up pieces to acquire mid-round draft picks.
I think they're going to be sellers.
2nd and goal.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings just lost one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. They also have an aging quarterback in Kirk Cousins that is on the last year of his deal. What would you do if you were the Vikings GM? Would you tank, add pieces at the deadline, sell everything, start over, or just do something else completely?
So I'd ride this thing out for the next couple of weeks and see where I stand. Because I don't think they're horrible. And I look around the NFC and I don't know, can I string some wins together? So I look at the next bunch of weeks, okay? I got the 49ers in 2 weeks. I get that. I got the Bears and the Niners. Bears are beatable. Packers are beatable. Falcons are beatable. Saints are beatable. Broncos are beatable. Bears are beatable. Raiders are beatable. Can I go on a little run now? And so I got 3 weeks until the trade deadline. If I can see some improvement, and I get it, I just lost Justin Jefferson. But I'm, with all due respect for a team that won the division last year, I'm not ready to quit. Now, if somebody wants to blow my socks off for Kirk Cousins, I guess I'll listen. But I'm not actively trying to blow this thing up.
Can I tell you one of my get off my rocks pet peeves?
Please.
Is people, the word tank. And like, how many franchises should just give up? Well, you're not any good, so just tank and get that #1 overall pick.
And tell your players that, by the way.
And tell that to your players, tell that to your coaching staff. Like, your jobs and your careers don't matter.
Yeah, I want you
it's
to go
just
out
about
and lose.
getting who's ever going to be the #1 overall pick at quarterback. Tanking doesn't work in the NFL. It doesn't work. Everyone says you need a tank to get Caleb Williams. Well, Trevor Lawrence hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. Like, these guys just don't come in and change franchises. There's guys we believe are different. Those are few and far between. Tanking doesn't work in the NFL. You play to win the game. That's what you got to do regardless. Now, for the Vikings, I'm with you. You play it out. You don't have to trade Kirk Cousins. It's going to be hard to trade a starting quarterback and get any value in return. So just play this season out. If you're done with the old Kirk Cousins, you've said, all right, we've reached our ceiling, then you can move on. But don't tank. Don't do that. Just play to win the game.
3rd and goal.
So speaking of injuries, the Arizona Cardinals just placed James Conner, the 8th leading rusher in the NFL, on the injured reserve list. Does this make the Cardinals the front runner for the first overall pick? And who else is in that conversation?
No. The Cardinals are doing what you should do, even if you're not winning. They're trying to win games. They're competing, building a culture. Do you know? Look at the Chicago Bears, and they've had that mentality. Like, hey, we're just gonna get by. We'll tank. We'll try to get somewhere. And look how far behind that put them with Justin Fields this season. Now the Chicago Bears could be in a good place because you know who's in the running to have the number one overall
Carolina.
pick? Carolina.
And they get their pick. Yeah. The answer is no. I mean, are they in the running? Yeah, I guess they're in the running. Does it make them front runner? No. Why? First of all, it's a damn running back. And we've already established that just because you lose a running back, unless it's Christian McCaffrey, doesn't have a huge impact on your team. It's a running back, a good running back, but it's a running back. They're not winning because of James Conner. Secondly, Denver's worse. Charlotte or Carolina's worse.
The Bears are still 1-4.
The Bears might be worse. Yeah, there's teams that are worse than them. No, I don't think they're the front runner at all.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, it's Waiver Wire Wednesday. I know Jeff and I didn't, but hopefully everyone else got the guys they were trying to snag. So, which guys so far have surprised you the most this year?
Well, people are going to say, Puka Nacua. Do you know anybody who drafted on the same team? Drafted Puka Nacua and Rashee Rice?
Is it you?
Yeah, you do. Don't shake your head. No.
Well, we know you did, Jeff.
And that team's 2-3, by the way. That's how bad I am. So those guys have. Josh Reynolds has surprised me. Sam Howell pleasantly has surprised me. On the negative side, Lamar Jackson has surprised me. I'll tell you, Kenny Pickett surprised me. I thought he would be better than he is. So, I mean, those are two off the top of my head.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, you're still top 10 fantasy quarterback. But you're hoping that he's going to be a top 3 or 4 guy. I still think that you believe in his legs. And this is the thing with fantasy football. A lot of it is almost like a real life football now. It's get your wide receivers, find guys that you can start at running back, but the waiver wire at the running back position is going to change you.
That's probably right. Kyron Williams. Has he been the biggest waiver wire
on a chain
until he got hurt?
A-Chan, excuse me.
Yeah, until he got hurt. Yeah. Joe Mixon's been a little bit of a bummer of a surprise too, probably for people. All right, it's funny you talk about the running back position, how it changed because you're a believer in receivers. You don't think running backs are that big of a deal, but you think running back on the waiver wire changes your team?
Waiver wire or just wait. The top scoring fantasy running backs. I'm just looking at the basic PPR league. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey, you picked him in the top 3.
Spent $115 in my league on him. Yeah.
The next, A-Chan, Mostert, Travis Etienne, Kyron Williams, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson.
So, 3 of those weren't drafted? Kyron Williams wasn't drafted. Maybe A-Chan was. And was there somebody else in there?
Etienne is a dude you probably could get in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah. And Brian Robinson, absolutely you could.
Mid-round pick.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, I want to bounce you through the latest in what happened this morning in the NFL. There's some trades. I got a Jason email as the Aggies play tonight. And then at 9:30, Brent Brennan, San Jose State's coach, is going to be with us. Really looking forward to talking to him about scheduling because he got a power school to come into his place. But maybe it would have been better in a different year. They're going to play the Lobos this weekend. That's coming up at 9:30. And the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This New Mexican is headed to London.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
60 million in the Concord. Look, it is what it is. There's only so much you're going to be able to do to that building. I told you at some point that's where you're going to need something new. You guys love the pit, and I love the pit. We all love the pit. At some point, there's going to only be so much you're going to be able to do to that place. And he says, P.S. Do we really have? It says right here. Do we really have Enver at the Cheeps tomorrow night? How ugly is that going to be? When can we start flexing out of games? Yes, you really get Enver in Kansas City tomorrow night. How bad is that going to be? If Miami puts 70 on them, what can the Chiefs do to them?
What can they do? They could probably put up 70 as well, but they won't. The last 2 times it's been within 1 score. I mean, they play the Chiefs at a higher level, and I hope they do it again this time. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Did you bump your head this morning?
Real hard.
10.5 is the number, not enough.
That was when they weren't the Denver Broncos. They still were the Denver Broncos.
I guess if Kelsey's out, that is the real thing that tilts me to this line of thinking. And at this moment, from what I hear, he's probably out.
Why could he be out last week?
What wouldn't this game just look like what Kansas City did to Chicago?
Which was like 41-10 or something.
I mean,
Why wouldn't
it could go that way. I'm not sitting here.
Why
saying,
aren't they going to toy with Denver? Like why do you think the Broncos somehow are going to be able to stay with them? Because Russ is really good. Because
he hasn't played that bad.
Didn't play that good the last couple of weeks. So the first few, I'll give you that. The first few haven't been that good the last couple of weeks. Oh, and by the way, he had the ball in his hands with a chance to go down and drive and win a game, and he coughed it up.
Oh, that was so ugly. So ugly.
I mean, that's on him, right? Put the
100%.
damn ball away.
Yeah,
that was that guy, right? He had the ball. They were down by 3, and here's your chance, Russ, against the Jets, and cough it up, fumble, scoops 6.
It's the worst decision he's had in 3 weeks. That's for sure. Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be that ugly. So if it's 10.5, I'd probably take Denver.
Well, I know how good you are at betting, so I'm going to go the other way.
And that's smart money right there.
Yeah. All right. I got a Jason email. Aggies play tonight. They are at home, Aggie Memorial Stadium, and on your television against Sam Houston. It's a Conference USA game. Good morning, OD. It says NM on the scene. Good morning, OD. You have the state of New Mexico being front and center in Major League Baseball playoffs. Kyle Bradish, Joey Ortiz, both former Aggies. Mitch Garver, former Lobo, and, of course, Alex Bregman. So in the vein of local players taking center stage, tonight's NMSU versus Sam Houston game features 2 players from New Mexico not recruited by UNM. Diego Pavia has been well documented, but way under the radar. Mark Phillips, a starting wide receiver for the Bearcats. That's Bearcats with a K, by the way. A former Clovis Wildcat, a Nimi grad, and can be added to the growing list of local players not recruited by Danny Gonzalez playing somewhere else. In fairness to Coach G and his assistant, New Mexico has a ton of FBS-level athletes, so it's hard to sift through the myriad of players that could impact a program that's won 6 FBS games in 3.5 years. After all, there are some programs that only have 6 wins this entire season, so go figure. Winning games is hard. Finding impact players in this state is even harder. There are just so many. Well, Mr. Phillips, I will celebrate you when you are not playing the Aggies, of course. Good luck to you, and though New Mexico, or though UNM thinks you can't play FBS ball, you didn't seem to get that memo. Stand tall, Bearcat. Crimson Lee, Jason. Prediction: NMSU 17, Sam Houston 14. Did New Mexico State recruit this young man?
That's a weird one.
This is a weird one, Jason. That's a little bit of a
reach. It's a reach, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jason. That's a reach.
Yeah.
Actually, no, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, that's not your best.
No.
Did NMSU recruit him?
Like, that's right. The Lobos. He's not playing for the Lobos. He's not playing for the Aggies.
And maybe they did, and he opted to go to Sam Houston. I don't know the answer. And I don't know. I mean, was he recruited by Texas and Oklahoma and Alabama, and he chose to go to Nimi?
Come back and let us all know, hey, Mexico State offered this kid.
Yeah, and if they did, and it chose, okay, they offered. You swing and miss sometimes. Yeah. All right. Question years ago when I first found out Bearcats were with a K. What's a Bearcat with a K? Bearkat. That's what they are. All right, you get a game tonight. That's all I know. That was.
Has you flustered?
Yeah, that was weird. How do we take this guy seriously ever? He gave us he was talking about Eddie. All right. So let me ask you this. It's and I think this is the same phone number that is on the Danny Gonzalez. So this is the guy who just wants Eddie Nunez and Danny Gonzalez out. So he says, how do we take this guy seriously ever? He gave us a football coach with 0 head coaching experience, who's 9-27 right now without a conference win in 2 full calendar years. I don't know, man. Do you judge someone? And granted, they got to win in football. So I mean, to 369. I mean, you're right. They got to win in football. Do you really feel that everything else that this athletic director has been horrible? He hired a basketball coach that feels like it's got things in the right direction. They're winning championships, and I know you don't care about winning in soccer, winning in volleyball. Well, they're not doing those two. Winning in cross country, and well, you did win soccer, right? You have won in soccer.
Yeah, they won the last 3 Mountain West regular season titles, 2 NCAA tournament appearances.
Yeah, I mean, there's having a lot of success outside of football. How do you say, how do we take this guy seriously? Like, I don't know if you've ever hired anybody. I don't want to get it. I'll read it and I'll put it out there. But if you're solely, and look, football's a big deal. Football winning and hiring and firing and coaches and, like, I get it. But what do you mean, how do we take this guy seriously ever? What if your football program, give me, JT, give me one. There's got to be a football program somewhere that wins, but, like, all right, Georgia. Kirby Smart and what they're doing there. How many arrests have they had, their student athletes? Now, they won a national championship. They won 2 national championships. But when their AD comes up, you say, well, I take that guy seriously. Never mind that the student athletes are out getting arrested all the time for speeding and whatever, but we win in football. That guy's great. So that's the only way you judge a dude?
It's sports, baby.
All right. I mean, I guess that's what it is.
Win, 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 no matter what.
Yeah, that's a weird one to me, too. That one was a weird one. All right, Lars says, the New Mexico Bowl elimination, the path to get into your game, Jeff, is for the club not standing in the winner's circle Saturday night becomes much more cloudy. That's a big game for both these teams to get bowl eligible. If they both won. One's 1-5, one's 2-3. Yeah. Most desperate theory, Lobo footballer Juan Jose State, Jeffrey and Derek Charles. I think it's the Spartans who are telling their fans this is the point in their schedule that they can get their season turned around. Sure it is. And we're going to hear from their head coach here in a few minutes how they feel this is the point in their season where, not easy, but it's kind of lets up a little bit, right? I mean, he's not going to tell you that it's easy to play New Mexico or Utah State or Hawaii or Fresno State or San Diego State. But, I mean, let's be honest with what they've gone through. They had a bye yet? They haven't, had they? Did they get one? Yeah, they get one after Hawaii. All right, when we come back, Brent Brennan is the head football coach at San Jose State. The Spartans are coming in to play the Lobos this weekend, coming off a loss at Boise State. Tough schedule, terrific quarterback, and a heck of a lot better team than maybe 1-5 says, but you are what your record says you are, and I think everybody realizes that. Looking forward to the conversation with Brent Brennan next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This New Mexico.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Nahad here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar for nearly
into our meetings and our practice environment and worry about taking it one step at a time. I think that's always what you need to do. And, the schedule's been tough, but it is what it is, right? We don't get to choose a schedule. The schedule chooses us. And so you got to play it however it lays out, and, even after coming off of that first month, we have 3 games on the road in the second month. So it's all challenging, right? Going down to New Mexico, elevation, playing a good football team, very well coached, very active. What they do defensively is different than everybody you play. Really big time playmakers on offense. So this is a heck of a challenge for us.
Brent Brennan, San Jose State's coach, is with us on the Sports Animal.
Brent, what do you take away from a schedule like that? How do you grow from those moments? Because everyone always talks about getting experience, learning from what you've done. What has your team learned to this point in the season?
Well, I think, we've learned that we need to finish. That would be the obvious statement. I think also it's that, the reality is that it's hard to win a college football game. everyone's really good. Everybody's got players on scholarship. Everybody works hard and lifts weights and trains hard and practices. And, in this Mountain West Conference, I think everybody is extremely well coached, and there's very good players at every school you play. And it doesn't matter where you are in the conference. You have to deal with some different scheme, some sort of tricky environment, elevation, whatever, right? It's always, every place has its stuff. And so that's, it's just, going through the schedule, as hard and as challenging and disappointing as it's been, I think also we found out that, when we're on and we're playing complimentary football, we're pretty sexy, And so, the trick of that is getting us in the situation where we can, play for a full 60 minutes.
But you mentioned when you look at these college football teams, and there's so many different tendencies, and there's been some coaches in this league that have been around for a while. You guys know each other really well, but what do you like about preparing for opponents when you sit down and you try to say, all right, this is where we want to attack them, this is what we want to try to make them do? What do you like about that part?
Well, that part is fun just because it's it's the challenge of attacking the scheme and then combining that with your personnel versus their personnel, right? Looking for matchups, and I think it's that's the chess game of football. And obviously, Danny's been one of the best defensive guys in college football for a long time, and you can see that by what he's putting out there, with New Mexico right now. And I think you've seen their team continue to evolve under his leadership and how they get better every single year. And I think that's when you start breaking down the X's and O's, you start realizing, it doesn't matter who you play. Everybody is really good, and everybody is going to present you with something schematically or personnel-wise that challenges you in the Mountain West Conference.
San Jose State coach Brent Brennan's with us. Lobos and Spartans, 4 o'clock at University Stadium on Saturday. We love your quarterback. And Shevin is, I think, 5th all-time in the league in passing. He transfers. He leaves home, and we had the conversation with him about leaving home, the culture shock, and just how much Hawaii meant to him. He won a bowl game while he was there. And he told us in Vegas this year that he feels home, and you were a big part of it. You bring a guy in, look, transfer portal is the world now, right? Every roster in America has got guys that came from somewhere. But he was a guy that, coming from the islands, it's different. How has he been, and how have you seen him grow as a quarterback? Because we think he's pretty special.
Absolutely. He's fantastic. I think, because he's so athletic, I think there's like a natural tendency for people to think that he's a runner. And really, he's a very accurate passer first, and he's tough as nails. He'll stand in there and take a hit and deliver the football. And I think, and then he also does have some escapability. But just watching him grow over the last 2 years, he's grown in his leadership. He's grown in his, kind of how he's putting himself out there and how he's kind of exerting that with the football team has been really, really good. Especially when it's hard, right? Especially when, like right now, where we're at, you just hear his leadership on the practice field. You hear his leadership in game, and him pushing guys and trying to bring guys with him, on this journey, which is what I think is really special.
Are you coming in here? You talked about Danny Gonzalez and the defense. When you look at New Mexico, they're different offensively, obviously, than they've been over the last bunch of years. With Brian Vincent in, they brought in a quarterback who's a veteran. He's got the next amount of starts in this league after Shevin. What do you see from New Mexico? You talked a little bit about defensively, but offensively, they're different. They got some playmakers this year.
There's no question. I think their tailback, Jacory's a super good player. He's strong. He can make you miss. He's very, very productive, runs for, with some power. I think that's a big challenge for us. Like seeing 2 quarterbacks, that's always a challenge because you're kind of preparing for one thing or the other. Then there's some really big playmakers at wideout, right? They've got some speed, big body, and a lot of production at their wide receiver position. So, I think I'm always amazed when we go play people or when we're preparing to play people, like how good the talent is in the Mountain West. I'm just, like getting ready to play. It doesn't matter who you're getting ready to play week in and week out. You're like, holy smokes, where'd they get that guy? Right. And that's kind of how this conference is. There's so much of that. And every week you got to prepare for different challenges. And this week's no different because they've got 3 receivers that can really hurt you. Both quarterbacks are good players. And the tailback is fantastic. So, big time football game on Saturday afternoon for us.
Do you have to convince your players of that? And I know the answer is going to be we're 1-5. We're not good enough to look past anybody. But there's a tendency, what New Mexico's been, what they've been over the years, and they look at a record and they see whatever. And then I'm going to guess when you turned on the film or the tape or the video or the digital video or whatever it is now this week, they probably opened their eyes when they saw, well, those are different athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we haven't played New Mexico for 3 years. So we have no idea what they are, like in terms of our players. Like when a couple years before we played Boise State, we were on the road. I asked everybody in the room to stand up that played against Boise in 2020. We had 75 players on the road. Only 11 of them had.
Probably got less this
You know
time.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, 11 players, right? So it's like the rosters turn over so much year in and year out in college football through whatever it is, natural attrition, transfer portal, graduation, whatever. And so our guys have no idea. So they're going off the film, right? They don't have any preconceived notion of what this game is about. They're looking at the film saying, holy smokes, these guys are really salty on defense. They're super creative, all kinds of pressure. And then offensively, there's playmakers at all skill positions. Looks like they have a pretty sturdy offensive line, and the quarterbacks can both hurt you. So this is this game and only this game in our heads.
Just a few more minutes with Brent Brennan, the San Jose State head coach, Aztec Spartans and Lobos. What are those two teams I'm doing? I better figure that out by Saturday.
Yeah, you got some time right. You do, especially that pronunciation guy. Keep reading that one for it. Brent, you mentioned that watching this league, and you see the athletes, you see the coaching in it, and it's a new scheduling model moving forward. There's no divisions. So what do you think about that aspect as a conference moves forward?
I think it's good. I think I understand the necessity of us having a chance to play in the college football playoff, and so trying to put our best foot forward by just the two best teams playing each other. And then I also think it's kind of a bummer, right, because you miss the natural kind of geographical rivalries, right? Like we don't play Nevada this year. I think next year we don't play Hawaii, and maybe not San Diego State, right? Like a lot of those teams we've been playing for a really long time. So I think, but I understand the need for it. I totally understand the need for it. So lots of California kids choose to come to San Jose State because their parents, in the old format, the parents it was pretty easy to get to every game except Hawaii, right? So that was a big part of kids choosing San Jose State, is that parents could drive to Nevada or fly to Nevada or Vegas or, drive to Fresno or San Diego State. Like all those were like relatively easy places to get to.
How much is the realignment conversation leaked in? And everybody knows about it. You talk about it. I'm not going to ask you, does it make an effect when you're making a tackle on third down and short? I know it doesn't. But as far as conversation of what it's going to look like and scheduling next year, and you control what you can control, but kids talk, coaches talk, hell, we talk. Everybody wants to know what's going on. How much has that been a conversation since the season started?
For us, not at all. Because, we're huge about what we can control, and that's so far out of our control. It doesn't even register with us. And so, as we kind of put it together, like week to week, we're just worried about this next opponent. But I understand it's a big topic of conversation out in the world, and with the media and all that stuff. But people much smarter than me are going to be making those calls, and whatever it ends up, we'll line up and play.
All right. Lastly, knowing your audience, it's a New Mexico audience that maybe watched you guys a few times, good to see you maybe for the first time. What do people maybe not know that they should know about the San Jose State team that's coming in to play Lobos this weekend?
Shoot, that's a good question. I don't know.
Without giving it all away, right? I'm not asking you for your scouting report and game plan.
Yeah. I really love the kids in this program, and they really care about each other, and they work really hard, and they love playing. And I think that's been a really cool thing about our team. I think we were like 5th lowest transfer rate in the country last year of all 130 teams.
That's crazy.
Because this team really cares about each other, and that part of it's really, I think, is really special. And we have fun doing the work. We love playing, and I just feel fortunate to be a part of it.
He's former UCLA Bruin great, and the first
That's not true.
first San Jose State coach to take the Spartans to 2 bowl games since Claude Gilbert did it in the mid-'80s. He's going to be in town on Saturday, actually Friday, but went to the San Jose Mercury News, the San Jose newspaper. they don't cover, like, there's not a section to go to San Jose State. You can ask for Sharks and Earthquakes and 49ers and Cal and Stanford, but you can't find a section that covers San Jose State, right? It's a tough job, and to have them in consecutive bowl games and recruit the way he does. And
Was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective. Next in line. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
I was born.
him now, it's not being used. Don't see what he did there. Come on, man. We're using it. They're using it. It's where we put, because it's warmer for the bowl game, I try to put the people on that side. It's like everybody wants. And Dylan Brooks hit a player in the junk in his first exhibition game in his first 5 minutes and got ejected with his new team, the Houston Rockets.
Split bid I felt against the Lobos, but the Lobos played great. I felt that was probably, even though they lost, that was one of the better Lobo games this year. You don't always have to win because, yeah, Kellen Moore knows them, but they also know Kellen Moore's offense. So that's always an interesting game. It'll be 75% Cowboy fans in SoFi. And
Dustin May's out and Urias is out. And, I mean, what do you got, man? Sandy Koufax ain't coming back. Oral Hershiser's done.
He's got a couple innings.
Oral Hershiser, Don Sutton's deceased. Oh, man. I just didn't get where you didn't go in that. But if the Aggies recruit him, I'd like to know. I don't think they did either. I thought that you're really good. That one just was a reach. You guys. Does the name, I mean, is it before your time? I know it's before your time, but I mean, does it mean anything to you?
In regards to?
Well, gymnastics.
Yeah.
Do you know who she is?
Yeah.
All right. Media post. We ask that if you can help in any way, that one, you pray, and two, if you could help with us with finances for the hospital bill, anything, absolutely anything would be so helpful for my family and my mom. Evidently, how does this even happen? Mary Lou Retton's with us, and Sam Houston. Tomorrow, Jerry Palm will be with us at 8:30. Looking forward to the conversation with he from CBS Sports. Thank you today to Eddie Nunez and Brent Brennan. Brent Brennan was with us, the San Jose State coach. Jim Rome.
Back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.